I'm sorry, I'm the troll of the competition. This is me, just look nowhere else.
We've had a MJ contest just before service to sort of warm us up. I want to make sure that people are happy with it, so it's building up for sure.
Everybody Eats is an organisation combating food waste, food poverty and social isolation. 3 nights a week, Everybody Eats offers a 3-course meal from LTD in Wellington, using donated food that would be going to landfill, all for a Koha donation. Food donations are collected first thing in the morning before head chef Al Robbins creates a menu for that night with help from volunteers. This year for the Wellington on a Plate festival, Everybody Eats is welcoming 5 next-generation chefs from around the capital. Each week, one chef will create a menu from donated food they get on the day, before a panel of judges crown a winner at the end of the festival.
My name is Maxime Gnojczak, and at the moment I work as a head chef at Concord restaurant. I was really enjoying cooking and being into kitchens since a little boy. Went through catering college back home. At the end of it, many years, I had the opportunity to go overseas. From there, I was like, I need to see as much stuff as possible, so I sort of work in so many different places. Ended up in New Zealand, that was 9 years ago, and even through this, I just kept it into some sort of pace, starting somewhere into a hotel, worked for a catering company, worked at a very fine dining place. I've always felt New Zealand being like so far away from so many things and so open to like so many different cultures. It was a great melting pot. I've discovered that people have a much more and better understanding of like international cuisine and overall like worldwide cuisine than for instance back home, where when I was at catering college, the most we've done is like one afternoon on Chinese cuisine. And that was about as much as I've learned about it.
Head judge and fellow Wellington chef Max Gordy is the mastermind behind the competition, having previously worked for Everybody Eats.
I understood the concept of Everybody Eats, and I think it's, especially in this day and age, places like those are like amazing. So I jumped on, I've said, yeah Max, let's go, let's do it. I'm keen on to join in. And I ended up actually finding out afterwards that it was to be involved into a competition, etc., which is usually not my favorite thing, but you know what, I was like, if it's for Everybody Eat and support it, 100% for it, and just to be there to have fun, really.
The challenge of Everybody Eats is the variation in product available, something that will put Maxime and his fellow chefs to the test. But Everybody Eats head chef Al Robbins says that's all part of the fun.
Some days we might get a huge glut of food and an abundance of possibilities, and then other days I do have to be a little bit more creative.
You've got banana, hummus and potatoes.
Yeah, some days that happens, but to be honest, I mean, as much as we joke about it, actually those days are my favourite, because I think that's such a part of our message, is that we are so uninspired so often with the food that we get at home, and actually there's so much that gets put to waste because we just don't know what to do with it. So being able to show not just our volunteers but also the people that come into the restaurant, hey, if you've got 75 apples knocking around,
yeah, look
this
what
is what you can do with it, And
Maxime is feeling the pressure from a different angle.
I've always been, my whole career was like, you want to make sure that the guest is the center of attention, and you want to make sure that this person who's taking the time to come here, who wants to enjoy, make sure that the whole experience is really great for the person. But going there, I feel it's taking it to another step, taking some people who sometimes probably have not the chance that we all have to, enjoy themselves, pay all the bills they gotta pay, and having extra cash to go to the restaurant, because nowadays it's quite something. So my real challenge is to make sure that these people come out, the dinner will be cooking happier than when they came in the first place. To be actually there and enjoying the people coming in and having a great time. That's what I'm looking forward to. The competition itself, well, it is what it is, but more being there. But yeah, just being there, as always in life.
As for what he can bring to the competition, Maxime says he's bringing more than just chef skills.
I would say my dance moves are pretty strong. So let's just start with that. That's going to be quite something to bring up. I'm sorry, I'm the troll of the competition. This is me, just look nowhere else. And I think it will be quite presumptuous and quite, out of my path to say that I'll bring some crazy cool stuff and anything. If I can just bring a bit of funny French accent and happiness and see people smile and have a good time, that will be mission accomplished for me.
So, what does the phrase "everybody eats" mean to Maxime?
no matter where you're from, what's your background, what's your social status, whatever, we all sit together and we all can enjoy at the same time the same experience. I am from a multicultural background. My 4 grandparents, none of them came to France with like a French passport or anything. They all started from like the bottom zero and sort of had to build their life in, and it has been like, I know there has been like some struggle within the family, and I think this day and age where you can see some like tremendously big difference on social levels, to be able at our tiny level, which is food, to like bring everybody back, pardon me the expression, but to the same table, it's quite unique and amazing. So quite inspiring, I'll say. That's what it does to me.
And it is the everybody part that is most important. Everybody Eats restaurant manager Jack Rainey says they are not just for those who might be struggling. Having as many people dine is key to their success.
We need everybody to come along, because those that are able to give us a bit of koha, a bit of donation, that money goes back into feeding those people that can't afford it. So I think we're unique in that sense, and I think that's what makes us so awesome.
Yeah.
It's because this is a community restaurant and everybody is welcome along here, and we encourage everybody to come along.
All of the chefs have the same main course protein, oyster cut lamb shoulder. As for the rest of the ingredients, that will be down to the day's donations. Maxime has quite a lot to work with. Baby potatoes, Savoy cabbage, sugar snap peas, parsnips, mushrooms, apples, bananas, broccoli, quinoa, as well as staples like flour and sugar, along with a collection of spices. So, how is he feeling?
Stressed.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't realize until I got there, and then you see like all these amazing people coming out to help out, and you're like, okay, well, we get a few hours and then there's 200 people coming to feed, so just, finding your feet around a new place is always a bit like...
What's on the menu?
So straight up, we're gonna start with a tamale, the entree with banana. It's gonna be stuffed in a cabbage leaf, a bit of garnish on the top. Main course, I was saying I really wanted to have a bit of like Northern African couscous-ish and saucy dish with lamb. That's what I got through my mind. So we don't have couscous unfortunately, but they've got quinoa, so we're just gonna supplement. It's not the same things, but we're gonna try to make it as much as close as possible. Bit of like slow cooked lamb shoulder, very juicy veggies with all the spices in the world. They've got a spice shelf over there that's like bigger than my house, so that's all I wanted to know about it. And dessert, something that I always loved since I'm a child is a baked apple. It's just like a little bit of bits and bobs on top to make it nice and delicious. That's the menu.
The venue can seat 60 at a time, serving over 150 across the 2-hour open period every night. So who exactly will our chefs be cooking for?
50 to 60% of our guests every night come every single night. We know them all by name, we know their story. We've had amazing stories of people who have been dining here when they were doing it rough, and they've come back to say thank you because they've found employment, they've found accommodation, their life feels a bit more back on track, but they're really grateful that we were here for them, and they still come in and help out or eat occasionally. We've seen babies being born.
Yep.
Ladies come in and then excitedly announce their pregnancy, and then now they're coming back with their young baby. It's pretty special.
Midday, prep begins. After the prep shift, a new group of volunteers arrive for their brief of the menu, preparing to serve dine-in and takeaway. Service has now been going for over an hour. How is our head chef feeling?
I think so far so good. It's been so amazing. All these guys are so into it. I knew that from the beginning, but it's even more so. I'm almost just there like watching what's going on, and they do all the hard work. Pretty happy, I mean, as happy as I can be. I want to make sure that people are happy with it, so.
And he's kept his promise to bring the gift of dance.
We've had a MJ contest just before service to sort of warm us up. We're just waiting for the tune to kick in, and then we're gonna start again. I am waiting for the end of the night to drop the BNC stuff, but I think we're getting there slowly. Yeah, it's building up for sure.
Everyone coming through the door has a story.
We've got people that are living on the street, some by choice, some not by choice, which has really been quite interesting to hear. There's a couple that have chosen to live on the street because they feel that by doing so they can help look after other people that live on the street. So they come quite often once a week, and they actually volunteer here occasionally as well.
Smurf has been living on the street since he was 3 years old. Now 35, he has been dining at Everybody Eats since it opened.
It was a koha or a donation, and since most of us couldn't even afford that, it was somewhere where we could come and enjoy and have thanks and have a decent meal, and a 3-course meal. Like, you don't get that. That's insane. You don't get a 3-course meal for pretty much free just for a donation in any city, let alone Wellington City.
Originally from Cyprus, Smurf says his most memorable moment here was a Mediterranean dish from the very first night.
I had a lot of Mediterranean food when I was growing up, and I would say that the first night was special because when the Mediterranean vegan meal came out, it was so on point. It reminded me of my grandmother's, and that's hard to do because you can't match your own family unless of course they had some influence into it.
Keeping with one of their missions of social connectedness, Jack and Elle welcome any to their table.
It's so wonderful to see people dining together that maybe otherwise possibly wouldn't, or wouldn't mix, or come from very different worlds.
Another diner, Imelda, says she loves the feeling of community that Jack and his volunteers create every night.
I've never seen this anywhere else in the world. I'm from Canada originally, and this is just such a unique, and so accessible for everybody else in the community to come together all in one place and to eat together. You know, there's days that we don't really have money, and here we are, and we get to enjoy like such gourmet foods and just taste different kinds of foods all the time.
Service winds down around 8 p.m, a chance for volunteers to enjoy the menu themselves. But what did our head judge think?
I feel like it's French, and overall cuisine is like quite worldly. So there was like, tamales from Mexico, North African spiced lamb, and then they had like, I'm American, so they had that baked apple with the maple syrup. So I was like, man, I'm right at home right here. So yeah, it was pretty real. I just hope that more people like just come to Everybody Eats and they just see what the whole vibe is here, and more people come to this, donate to this amazing cause, and just build this place up to more and more nights that can be available for people that can't actually like have a good meal like this, and we can expand it out to more days.
And our head chef?
Nothing was Alice was amazing. She's the head chef running the place. She was my babysitter for the whole day, making sure that everything was going on track. The handling experience was such a great experience. It was amazing. All the volunteers here have been amazing. The guests outside have been tremendous.
What about a standout moment?
The Michael Jackson dance battle at the end of prep shift just before the stir. Usually you get something way more formal in restaurant where you do a sort of like pre-service brief. I think now this needs to be included. This is so good. But I would say like in more serious way, seeing people walking out with a smile. People that have way less than, for instance, like I do, most of us have, seeing them walking out with a smile, coming back asking for takeaway and second instead. Walking away with like the knowledge that you make people happy, that is for me, it's worth like everything around.
In the next episode, sous chef of Atlas restaurant Connor McDonald steps into the Everybody Eats kitchen ready to feed the masses.